26 is finally here, guys. What up, y'all? It's your boy Infamous, Green Coleman, from Boat. Welcome back. Okay, guys, I know I'm late to recap Fire and Ash, the third Avatar movie. Guys, be patient with me, okay? It's not easy coming up with new videos, and equipment is very expensive. The Avatar franchise is about to outdo, like, both Marvel and Star Wars, man. And everyone is feeling the impact. Like, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and guys, if you want to, like, support what I do, head over to my Patreon page. Okay, for those that don't know, Patreon is an app where you can support like your favorite like content creator and get like special perks like seeing videos early and all that stuff. Fire and Ash took place like after like the end of like The Way of Water. It starts off with Loki and the Tam riding around those flying creatures, goofing off in the spirit world. Loki was telling him that he gotta go, and before like he go, the Tam asked him like how he died. Remember, Natam died in the last movie. Log told him that he got shot trying to save Spider, and Log gave him like one more hug, and he disconnected himself from the spirit tree. Log is the main character of the show, and he starts like giving like a narration of how he must deal with the fact that he got his brother killed. Jake was standing on business trying to collect like all the weapons that was left behind from the battle with Log and I guess his girlfriend. Jake found some RPGs. Log found Neytiri's broken bow, and Jake was telling him that it was useless, and to not like tell his mama that he found that bow. They made it back to the clan with guns, and Ronald telling like weapons of metal was like forbidden. Jake's trying to tell them Jake's trying to tell them that more are coming, and they need to use guns. Tanari told them like they need to use like Tora Makto, and Jake was like, nah, he's not going back to being Tora Makto. Back at the RDA, they were looking for like some dead bodies and try to find Jake. Cord was telling the general that Jake is still out there and needs a ship, but the general told him to stand down, but he's not backing down. Jake and Neytiri were talking about their faith in Awa. Jake made some RPG arrows. The kids were out like having fun with the whale creatures, having a good time. At the Sully's house, Spider's oxygen mask begins to die, and everyone but Neytiri was like looking for like his mask. They managed to get it on him in time though. Then we were introduced to the Wind Trader clan. They're a nomadic Navi clan that uses like flying creatures that look like glimpse to like get around. Jake made a deal with the leader to take Spider back to Yamatakaya. Jake gathered like the entire family and told them that Spider needs to like head back to Yamatakaya because he's only like one oxygen mask away from dying. The kids begged him like not to send Spider away. Jake and Neytiri decided to like, have the whole family go with Spider to like see him off. Jake told him that the Wind Traders like need some sort of protection. So Jake kind of like come in to like, give him some protection because they've been like dealing with raiders and stuff. Forge found out where Jake and his family is right now. So we settled up and rode with Lyle. The Sully family made it back to the forest, but still have a long way to go to like reach the Metakara. Alright, time to speed things up. We were introduced to the main Quan clan, the Ash people. They're a clan that turned their back on Awa, and they use fire. And their leader is Rang. An epic like fight happens. During the fight, Neytiri was shot in the shoulder, and the entire like Wind Trader clan got taken out. The kids were separated from Jake, and the kids had to run from the Ash people, while Spider's like oxygen supply was eventually gonna run out. Neytiri made it back to Yamatakaya. They gave her surgery. Cords and Lyle like caught Jake and like found like Spider's spare mask. Cords team up with Jake to like find like Spider's mask because he's about to die and his oxygen is gonna go out. While the kids were on the run, the Spider's mask is starting to drop dangerously low. Kira used her powers to like save Spider, and now he can like breathe without a mask now. Yes, people caught them and they got captured. Jake and Courage took like some of them on, but they ended up getting caught themselves. Eventually they escaped. Yamatakaya, Norm, and Neytiri like found them, and Courage had to like run. Norm is some kind of like surprised that Spider can breathe the air now. They run some tests on him, and they found out it was like some weird like symbiote that attached himself to his body. Then Jake realized that if the RDA could replicate Spider's ability to breathe the air on Pandora, yeah, they're gonna be toast. Curie found out that she's a clone of Grace and kind of the daughter of Awa. Jake was also telling her that, hey, I don't care if you're the daughter of Awa. I raised you after all these years. You're my baby girl, and I'm the only dad you ever need. Courage teamed up with the Ash people and like gave like Varang some guns and stuff. And Varang and like Courage are kind of like in a relationship. They're kind of a couple now. The RDA and the Ash people already kidnapped Spider, and they pretty much like took Jake to like be their prisoner. They're gonna execute him through a firing squad. They teary break Jake and Spider out, and Jake realized that he had to kill Spider because if he doesn't kill him, they'll find a way to replicate like his symbiote thing and like could take over the whole country and destroy the whole planet. So, but luckily like Jake did like stop himself before he even did it. We got like an epic final battle where like Jake like ride the Torque again and became Torque Moxo again. Epic final fight. It was amazing. And what was it Ronald like gave birth while like the whole battle was going on. Jake and Courage like had their final fight, and Courage dies. Supposedly he falls to his death. And Spider became like an honorary Navi, and he kind of like reunited with the ancestors in the afterlife on the spirit tree and stuff. And the movie was over. Hey, what up, yo? It's your boy. Yeah, I know. I mean, what'd you guys think? I created myself a little Navi body since I mean, I did want to like show off the Navi body in the beginning of the video, like to like freak everybody out. But I thought, you know what? I'll just wait until the commentary, and here we are. Alright, to get into this film, bro, I'm surprised that, like, the Avatar franchise is about to outdo Marvel and Star Wars. Bro, those are, like, the two, like, major, like, science fiction franchises that is currently up and running, though. I mean, you do got DC, but DC kind of, like, resets itself, so it's gonna take a little while for DC to get up there again. But the point is, man, like, the Avatar franchise, bro, like, the effects was amazing. The shootout scene, the fight scene, everything was amazing. Like, bro, I really thought the second movie was gonna be a bust. Last time I reviewed like the Avatar movies, I really thought the sequel was gonna be a bust, but I was wrong. And this movie definitely like went past my expectations, man. Like James Cameron has actually delivered, man. Okay, I did like the idea with like Loak or like I would say mostly Loak being like the main character of the whole film. Loak is definitely like his daddy, I swear. Like, bro, he's definitely like Jake from the first movie. Like so impulsive, very passionate, but very brave though. And the fact that, okay, there's a fact here. The fact that like this was supposed to be like part of the second movie, but they had to like cut it out because they said they don't want it to like go that long. Honestly though, that was a smart move because I mean, bro, that would be like what was it, six? I mean, the first movie was like almost 3 hours long. With that, I mean, add the whole like movie into like the second one, that'd be 6 hours. No one ain't gonna wait that long for that, man. I don't think no one has the attention span to last that long. But Loak, it does make sense for him to be the main character. I mean, hello, he had to deal with the grief that he kind of like got his whole brother killed. And I'm surprised that Jake is like getting like super angry and mad at him. I mean, I understand like why he got mad at him and stuff because like he messed up and he made a mistake and all that stuff, and it cost like someone his life and stuff. But you would think that he would like probably like sit him down. I mean, to like talk about his brother because I mean the whole reason why Jake is even part of like this whole thing in the first place is because his brother died. He would have sit him down and probably like talk to him about like, hey, look, I'm glad that you have the passion to like fight and like try to like gain my approval, son. But you got to be really careful and really think about it. You can't do everything on impulse. I mean, I get it. He's a Marine and he can't like like be all touchy feely and sit down and have to talk with you and stuff. I mean, that's not how, I'm just saying, man. I mean, I met like a bunch of military kids, and one thing I noticed about them is like their parents are not as always like, well, they do love their children. Don't get me wrong on that, but they don't like show affection in at least like a more nurturing way. Anyway, that I'm glad that they touched on the fact that grief, like everyone grieves differently. Jake, he's like, well, that needs to like keep busy and keep working. We are in the war here, people, and let's be honest. Once it comes to war, you don't got time to be crying. Okay, the third movie definitely like bring the whole Jesus thing into the whole situation. I mean, Curie kind of is like a metaphor for kind of like, I guess like a Navi Jesus in a sense, because like her whole character is kind of like that though. I mean, born from like, what was it, a single woman, not a single woman, but specifically, let's see, born from a single woman, no biological father. Honestly, man, I really did thought that Norm was a dad because, well, the video footage kind of speaks for itself. Because, like in the last movie, the kids were joking about that. Honestly, I could possibly see that Norm could be the daddy though. But no, Norm, you are not the father. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I just have to like make like a reference to Maury. I'm just saying, man, it's just a little too funny. On a serious note, like, the biblical references are, like, really on the nose this time. I mean, besides the whole Curie thing, you got the whole, like, Jake trying to, like, sacrifice Spider to, like, make sure, like, the RDA don't get him, because if they do, like, they're automatically toast in Pandora, and the whole, like, Navi race is gone permanently. Honestly, man, like, that is, like, straight from Genesis. I forgot which version of Genesis, but pretty much, okay, pretty much, like, in the story, Abraham, like, had to, like, sacrifice, like, his son Isaac to prove that he's like down with God and like he's obey him and all that stuff. Okay, no, Neytiri like going like a full blown Rambo with the exploding arrows and stuff. Now that was pretty cool though. Honestly though, like the like couple clans that we see in the movie, they kind of do represent the four elements that we see in Avatar. Okay, not Avatar the movie. We're talking about Avatar: Last Airbender. Earth, the Metakaya. What was it? Water, kinda. What was it? The Mekaina, the ash people, fire, and the air dome, the air clans or the sea, was it the wind traders and all that stuff. It kind of does like go there. Honestly, man, I did like the little reference they kind of like made to Spider-Man because, well, I'm just saying like the symbiote thing that Ava kind of like gives Spider. I mean, it definitely like gives off like Venom energy. And given the fact that they call him Spider, like, okay, I'm surprised that you haven't not made like a Spider-Man joke yet after all that. I'm just saying. But I can see the reason like why they didn't like, say Spider-Man directly because, Spider-Man kind of is like a legal limbo, like in legal limbo with Disney and like Sony. So it makes sense like why they didn't like call him like or even mention to like call him Spider-Man at some point. Okay, how dare they make Courage like so likable and funny in this movie? I mean, like Courage does like has like his good moments. I'm saying, man, he has become like a really funny character. It's starting to become like a favorite character online. Like seriously, like hold on. A minute ago, like he was just nothing but what was it, a super soldier who like would kill like any Nazi the first chance to get. And now like we see him with depth and complexity and stuff. Are you kidding me, bro? Nah, man. He's different from like the first movie, of course, because technically, like the Courage that we got now, he's nothing but a duplicate. He don't like see everything like the old one did. He didn't. I'm just saying, if Colonel did manage to survive the battle, or at least like have like a little peace, like I don't know, like some sort of truce with Jake at the end of the movie, we probably would see him turn on against the RDA anyway. And let's be honest, his clone body don't belong to him. It belongs to the RDA. So he's already dehumanized. Well, I guess, I don't know what to call it now, but I'm just saying, like, at that point, he might as well, like, leave the RDA. And let's be honest, it definitely really gave, like, Court, like the same arc as Jake. At least he has, like, some real character motivation besides just killing Jake. I mean, again, they introduced complexity to him, though. And I gotta admit, it was well written and well planned and well executed, honestly, though. Okay, now him and Varong, bro. Okay, if Jake and Neytiri had like evil duplicates, that would be those two. Another historical parallel that they kind of like brought into this movie is like how like they kind of like introduced like the whole like Ash people and like like them like saying forget the whole Navi race, forget Awa, we're gonna do our own thing. Honestly though, that was a classic like divide and conquer tactic because in case you guys don't remember, how do you think, like, this country, the United States, or every European country, like, got successful at colonizing the world? They divided and conquered. They separated, like, all the tribes and stuff, and made all the tribes, like, fight each other, so that way they can take the resources. And what Courage did with the Ash people, that's the same thing that, like, the colonizers did to, like, basically successfully colonize them. They gave them all their weapons, and made them fight, like, the other Navi and stuff. Alright, tell me about the elephant in the room here.
Let's face it, Neytiri is a racist. And she loses sight because of this blind fury that she has.
I think this is one of the strangest film takes of the year from Zoe Saldana. And just a reminder, this is the same woman who saw fit to play Nina Simone with whatever makeup situation she had going on here. She thought this was okay, but Neytiri is a racist. Same woman who we saw this from. Same woman who gave us Colombiana back in 2011, which the country of Colombia came together to collectively shit on and talk about how stereotypical it really was. And you start to look at these things and how they add up, and then you start to look look at her reactions, it gets a bit strange. Think about Zoe Saldana, I think about the term tone deaf. And when I think about that term, I think about the movie Emilia Perez, which Mexico absolutely hated as a movie about Mexico, but Zoe Saldana is not Mexican. And instead of just saying unequivocally, we were wrong, we're sorry, this was not our intention, she says stuff like this.
I don't share your opinion. For me, the heart of this movie was not Mexico. We weren't making a film about a country. We were making a film about 4 women. Yes. And these women could have been Russian, could have been Dominican, could have been black from Detroit, could have been from Israel, could have been from Gaza.
I have to say, interesting inclusion from Zoe there with that one place, but moving on, let's talk about her actual take on Avatar. Neytiri is not a racist. There's a species of invading, colonizing aliens who are essentially raping her planet, who murdered her father, who are destroying the entire ecosystem, who are destroying the Tolkun, who are sentient creatures, and who killed her son. See, the crazy thing is, if you adopt the attitude of, oh, Neytiri is a racist, you kind of are taking on the attitude of people that are doing the colonizing. They say, oh, look at how these people hate us. Her feelings are a direct reaction to the overwhelming majority of human beings who hold the majority of the power on Pandora. This is like talking about a Chinese person in the 1930s being racist against the Imperial Japanese Army because they were watching Imperial Japan kill 30 million people in Asia in the 20th century, right? Would anybody think to describe a Congolese person who watched King Leopold II's Belgium kill 10 million of their countrymen? Would anyone think to call one of these people racist for feeling anger towards their oppressors? When you commit heinous actions over and over and over again, the response that you get is justified rage. The same thing can be said about Filipinos towards the United States in the early 20th century, after we took the Philippines from Spain, after we started a fake war with Spain on fake pretenses. My ancestors in Ireland were abused by the British for almost 1,000 years. They were starved, they were murdered, they were raped, and if their only exposure to the British was through, say, the black and tans coming in and abusing people, how do you think they were going to feel? And this same exact argument can be made in another place where the British fucked up, that is Palestine. This is a horrendously strange take from Zoe Saldana and only deepens my confusion about this franchise, but I'll leave you with James Cameron's conversation with George Lucas, which I think is interesting and relevant. And what he's talking about here is not racism, it is resistance.
You did something very interesting with Star Wars, if you think about it. The good guys are the rebels. They're using asymmetric warfare against a highly organized empire. I think we call those guys terrorists today. We call them Mujahideen, we call them Al-Qaeda.
When I did it, they were Viet Cong.
Exactly. So were you thinking of that at the time?
Yes.
So it was a very anti-authoritarian, very kind of 60s against the man kind of thing, nested deep inside of a fantasy.
Or a colonial, you know, we're fighting the largest empire in the world.
Right.
And we're just a bunch of hayseeds in coonskin hats that don't know nothing.
That's right.
And it was the same thing with the Vietnamese.
Yep.
The irony of that one is in both of those, the little guys won.
Right.
And the big, highly technical empire,
the English Empire, right?
the English Empire, the American Empire, lost.
Yeah.
That was the whole point.
Okay, Zoe Saldana saying that Neytiri is racist is complete, utter bullshit. Because what are you talking about? Bro, she has every reason to, like, be, okay, by definition, she's prejudiced at most. She has every reason to, like, be prejudiced towards humans, though. Because, may I remind you, the theme about, like, the Avatar movie is about colonization. The theme is about colonization. Like, you're telling me that, like, what was it, a group of humans on Earth decided to make a little rocket ship, venture out to a moon, and basically, like, what was it, come to a planet, basically, like, wiping out, like, the natural ecosystem to, like, mine, like, what was it, material, and what was it, basically try to, like, wipe out an entire species of people to get those resources. Doesn't that sound familiar? It should. Like, bro, Zoe Saldana has, like, a bunch of, like, controversy over the years because of, like, you know, racism and all that stuff. Because, I hate to break this to you, most of the roles that she played, like, from her early parts of her career, she mostly played black characters, though. That's mostly the characters that she played from the beginning. And don't get me started on the whole Nina Simone controversy, where pretty much she, like, wore a prosthetic nose, had to, like, what was it, basically wear blackface. No, ma'am. So you're telling me that you wouldn't even hate people who, I don't know, pillaged your land, broke into your house, destroyed, like, all your stuff, took all your stuff, killed all your loved ones, You're telling me you wouldn't be angry at them, not one little bit, not one, and you're telling them to forgive them and cut them some slack? Hell to the no. Hell to the no. And don't get me started on Jake's like white savior complex. Don't get me started on that. Because let's be honest, if Jake was a black man or any other race of man that is not a white guy in this movie, trust me, he would turn on the RDA immediately. Because, bro, I'm telling you, no black person, no person of color ever would even like entertain the idea of possibly colonizing or enslaving an entire group of people. We would never even entertain such an idea. Heck, shoot, as me speaking as a black guy here, I would not even, bro, I'm definitely turning on the RDA the moment, like, I realized that, hey, well, okay, let's be honest, I would turn on them immediately. But if I did that, the whole movie would have been over. Also, like, bro, if you remember, like, the first movie, the majority of the people who play, like, the majority of the Na'vi characters in the first movie, they were mostly black. What are you talking about? The fact that the Na'vi are pretty much metaphor for pretty much, like, every single, like, marginalized group that has been affected by colonialism, i.e., most of the world, because I hate to break it to you, they've colonized most of the world. Heck, the top, like, well, the colonizer would be at least Britain and France. Those are the only, like, major, well, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm making sure. That was those two. Racism also, like, there's more to racism than just hating people because of the color of their skin. There's more to it. It's just prejudice and power here. And the question is, who has power in this movie? The RDA, the white people, the colonizer. And who doesn't have power? The Na'vi. Simple as that. There's been countless videos on YouTube, TikTok, about like how the RDA really are the good guys and Jake is pretty much like the villain of the whole thing. Well, okay. Me, from my perspective, ooh man, this was really hard for me to, like, really, normally I like analyzing movies and TV shows. That's kind of like what I do and it's kind of my thing. But, think about it for a second though. What was it? From the first movie, if you really rewatch like the first two movies again, they're all, like, the human race, like, Earth became pretty much uninhabitable. But I would say it kind of was on their fault, because, if they took care of the environment and the planet better, none of that wouldn't happen. And it wouldn't be on Pandora in the first place. But, one hand, I'm just saying, the RDA, the human race, and the Avatar franchise, they first did, like, try to, like, work things out, and try to, like, peacefully coexist with the Na'vi, but, like, what was it? Awa and the Na'vi people are saying, no, you can't, like, don't, well, okay, for context, Awa basically, like, had, like, what was it, 3 laws, right? You can't, like, create, like, like, buildings made of stone, you can't mine metal, and no, like, use of the wheel or anything that spins. Okay, looking at those laws, it made sense why, because, like, as Grace pointed out, like, the whole planet is pretty much alive, and there's, like, some sort of planetary consciousness. And for the humans to stay here, they would need to, like, get rid of that consciousness, or to, like, turn, like, most of the surrounding area in a particular region of Pandora to, like, a barren wasteland in order for, like, the humans to live on Pandora. And the whole reason why the Avatar program even existed in the first place was designed by Grace to, like, try to, like, peacefully negotiate, try to, like, make sure, like, hey, we can, like, live coexistently with the people, but the people in Awa says no, like, every single time. And it makes sense why. The whole reason why Awa exists, looking at the plot-wise, and, like, why, like, the Na'vi worship Awa, is to protect her own existence. If the humans do manage to successfully colonize Pandora, then that's the end of Awa, their neural network, their ability to connect to their ancestors and all that stuff. That would be all gone. The Na'vi are living in a world of abundance. They have more, there's more land that they could share. And not only that, keep in mind, like, we don't know, like, how much of the human race is still around after, like, the second movie and the third movie. We don't know what the population of humans really are. It wouldn't be that much of an issue. It would be an issue for the Na'vi people and all the life on Pandora if the tiny little bit of humans do settle on Pandora anywhere. Okay, another thing I don't understand about, like, the franchise is why don't they ever, like, try to, like, settle, like, set little, like, villages, little camps, like, in, like, the Hallelujah Mountains. Think about it. I mean, it's in the mountains, it's not connected to the ground. They're all floating rocks on Pandora. They can just fly up there anytime they want to. And not only that, it won't really harm the environment that much. Or at least not at all. I don't know. Also though, like the humans are good argument. I mean, there are some valid arguments with that, but, oh man, it's just difficult, man. Even for me, and normally I ask hard questions all the time. The third Avatar movie, it really did surpass the second movie though. It really did. James Cameron has really outdone himself this time. Again. Alright yo, your boy gotta go. Like, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, check me out doing art. Links to everything is down below. And guys, if you guys want to support what I do and get videos early, head over to my Patreon page.